where do I start if I want to improve my life? Where do I start if I want to start a business? Where do I start if I want to be financially independent? Where do I start if I want to increase the happiness in my life? Where do I start if I want to make a better world? I think everybody should always be asking themselves these questions, because our life is a never-ending journey towards improvement, and there's always something we can do either for ourselves, for others, or our families, or even the community that we live in. Austin, where do I start?
So before I get into where I think y'all should start, actually it is basically where I think y'all should start, but it's not where you think I'd say or what you think I'd say. So a lot of y'all, if you're trying to get better at whatever, I could tell you what to do right fucking now. If you want to get bigger in the gym, I could tell you how to do that right now. If you want to lose weight and get shredded, I could tell you how to do that right now. If you want to start an LLC, I could tell you how to do that right now. All these things, I could tell you how to do it, right? But if I told you what the fuck to do right now, be honest with yourself. Would you actually fucking do it? And if you did it, would you actually see it through? That's most people's problem. I'm not gonna say it's your problem. It might be your problem. If it is your problem, if the shoe fits, I'm talking to you. That's your problem. Where you should start, in my opinion, isn't doing what the fuck I just fucking said as far as, okay, now I have the recipe on how to get big or how to get lean or how to start an LLC. I'm going to listen to Austin. No, don't do that first. Establish some level of fucking discipline first. Because if you don't have any discipline, everything that I fucking tell you, everything that Jose is going to tell you is going to go in one ear and out the other. So I would love to tell you all where to start or where I think you should start, but you can't begin the race without having the discipline and the necessary tools to carry out the race as best as you can. And discipline, in my opinion, if the progression of building your body, getting stronger, getting leaner, making money, if that was a track and you had to run a race around the track for that, the discipline, in my opinion, is the shoes with the spikes. You could try to start the race. You can run a little while without having the necessary equipment, without having the necessary discipline in the shoes with the spikes in order to run the race. But I guarantee you, you're not going to get very fucking far if you try to do that. For some people, it may work. But for 99.9% of people, that's just not going to work. So if you want to know how to start the race as best as you can, have the necessary materials and the necessary tools in order for you to run the race as best as you can. And that, to me, the main thing, the cleats, the fucking shoes with the fucking spikes on them that allow you to gain traction and fucking run the race as best as you can, that is discipline. So start there, for starters. Now we'll get into tell you how the fuck, the little details and little tips and tricks that we know. But the tips and tricks that we know won't do you any fucking good if you don't have discipline to carry them fucking out. So
I want to go on a similar reference to your spikes or cleats reference. And that's that most recipes have the same ingredients between a Michelin star restaurant and a mom and pop diner. The difference in the recipe is the twist that the chef or the baker adds. That one ingredient, that one method of preparation, or small changes here and there. An analogy that you can make is how adding MSG almost to anything makes it ridiculously delicious and makes it addictive because MSG has that chemical property. Adding these minor tweaks is really what makes a Michelin star restaurant a Michelin star restaurant. It's not that there's an incredibly different way to cook chicken. No. How did you season it? What is the cut you're using? What's the quality of the chicken? We'll make a reference to beef. There's a difference between grade A beef and Wagyu, straight from Japan. It's very, very different. And it's only the small components that make a big difference. So even using the recipe, even using the framework, even using and applying the same techniques that everybody used, it's the minor improvements that's going to take you a lot further. It's like saying I did the same training regimen as Usain Bolt, and now I'm the fastest man on earth. Well, the main ingredient of Usain Bolt is Usain Bolt, and you don't have it, and I'm sorry. But where do I start? It depends on really what you want to do. But do you want to?
I can.
Well, because you're typing it, so I figured you might as well. I figured you were going to write something, so you might as well just say it.
So you can, let me get your opinion on this.
Oh, I have an opinion.
So I think one of the best things that worked for us when it came to knowing where to start or how to start was just starting in the first place. Acting. Now that might sound very like, duh, like in order to start you have to, yeah. But here's the thing though. A lot of y'all like to research and do all this fucking shit. Not saying that you shouldn't do that. You should. But we figured out a lot of things quicker than most people because we actually fucking started. We actually fucking put in the work to try to find things out or to fucking fail. And to me, it might sound kind of ridiculous, but not saying that you should want to fail, but that's basically how we started. We started because we were okay with experiencing the trial and error of actually just trying to fucking figure it out, failing, learning from that fucking failure, and progressing forward. So in your opinion, I think you have a good saying. I think it's something about imperfection. Do you want to? I think it matches with this here.
Imperfect action trumps inaction.
There you go.
If you are too afraid to even step foot on the court, how are you going to win the game? If your anxiety runs too high and you don't have the self-control to overcome the activation energy required for you to take the first step to even begin a hard task, whether it's starting a business or talking to that beautiful woman or having that conversation with the person that you need to talk to, or approaching that gentleman who's driving that Rolls Royce and who shows up to get a cup of coffee. If you can't take that first step because you can't overcome yourself or your perfection nature, you'll never get anywhere. You will never get anywhere. The best teacher is the school of life. You can't win just reading books. You can't win learning about other people's experiences. You have to make something out of all those books you read. You have to make something out of all the experiences that you learn from other people. If you have an idea, you need to put it into practice because you will have great ideas. And of that, there is no shortage. But there's a shortage of people who take action. There's a shortage of people who take calculated action. And there's a shortage of people who take action, fail, improve, come back, take action, fail, improve, come back, take action, fail, and improve until the point where they break through. Everybody who you think was an overnight success, I hate to break it to you, maybe 1 out of 1,000 are overnight successes. The other 999, they failed thousands of times, and they'll be the first ones to tell you that they didn't get this shit easily. They had to learn at every single time that they failed because, as we say, a win is nothing but an accumulation of losses. If you don't lose enough, you won't win.
And if you want to make a W right now, right, how would you do that with your hands? Put in 2 fucking losses together. L's, multiple L's together helps you build that big win eventually, that big fucking W. So it may suck in the beginning. You may not know what you're doing. You may fail. But you experiencing that failure, you learning from that failure, is putting you ahead of millions of other people who weren't willing to do that. And that allows you to have the experience and the knowledge to win. And if you're thinking about it, Jose, you said the best teacher was life and experience. And I think the second best teacher, in my opinion, is someone who has done what you're trying to do. So we told you, things that you should work on interpersonally to try to improve and whatnot. But now this is something that you're going to have to step outside yourself to do that can help you as well. So mentors for us was a big, and currently still is a big thing. And I still know people who are fucking 60, 70 who have fucking mentors, right? Because they know that they're probably not a fucking genius about every single fucking thing. There are people who are subject matter experts where they can confide in them and reach out to them, and they can get the knowledge and wisdom that they need from that person, as opposed to just thinking that they can do it all on their own, right? So for you, if you're trying to start anything, when it comes to building a better you, building a better business, all that stuff, right? Find someone who's done it before. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, I don't know who to fucking talk to, bro. We have the fucking internet now, man. Reach out to people. I don't care who the fuck it is. You may be like, oh, well, I don't know. They may not respond. Who gives a fuck? Try. You don't know until you fucking try. You could DM and message 1,000 fucking people. One of them might fucking respond and give you the answer that you fucking need. You can look up how to fucking do it online or some shit like that. You have multiple options, but finding someone, especially someone that you can actually touch, someone that's actually physically in the same space as you, that you can confide in, as opposed to via a computer or the internet or all that bullshit, is much better, because you can have that person-to-person conversation, right? So if you know someone, whether you're lucky or not, that knows or is doing something that you want to do, talk to them, tell them like, hey, you want to grab lunch? I'll pay for lunch. I'll pay for dinner. I'll do whatever the fuck. I just want to pick your brain and learn more about you, how you got to the place that you are in life, and just learn as much as I can from you, because I view you as someone who is a great person, someone who is very successful, and I'd love to learn as much from you as I can, right? Stroke their ego and tell them what they'd like to hear, because again, people always love to fucking talk about themselves, and then have that person in your network to where you can get that real deal insight on how to do certain things. And also, I'd like to plug here, if you want to get better in any of the things that we mentioned before, you have us that you can reach out to as well. And you could do that especially, especially very directly via our Patreon. So we'll have that link and we'll share it and whatnot.
We'll have it in the description of this video. Exactly. It's on our channel. It's what at the AM Club Podcast. Exactly. Patreon / at the AM Club Podcast.
Exactly. So we have that there. So if you all want to confide in us and reach out to us and ask us questions and see how we can help you, we are more than willing to help you. Because again, in order to progress in anything, in my opinion, experience is number one, but also having someone who's done the thing that you're trying to do before helps you tremendously, man. So just had to plug that real quick.
I think that the biggest thing that a lot of people will see as a barrier is not with all mentors, but with some mentors, you're going to have to cough up some chump change. You're going to have to pay them. If you have to pay for a mentor, you have to understand you're compensating them for their time, and you're compensating them for their experience and them being willing enough to share it with you. Their time is worth more than any amount of money that you could conjure up. And the reason for that is because they are giving you a silver spoon. They're giving you a golden nugget. They're giving you information that took them years or even a lifetime to learn. And they're conveying it to you in maybe 1 or 2 sessions of less than an hour. They're sharing experiences, wisdom, and knowledge with you so that you can progress further in your life. Don't they say that the best investment you can make is in yourself and your education so that you can provide more value? I mean, I think that that's entirely the case, and we have a crowd watching us right now, which is kind of funny. You missed it, but they were both like, yeah, I mean, hey, you know.
Subscribe.
Show us your tits.
Or that. Titties or subscription.
Hey, how about both?
Yeah.
You know? Make a donation on our Patreon too while you're at it. God, we sound like assholes. I'm taking that shit out for sure.
We'll put that on the Patreon.
Yeah. If you get to drink water from, what is it? The
Fountain of life.
Fountain of life? Fountain of youth?
Yeah.
Isn't it worth the ante that you'd have to put in to take those first couple sips? If somebody is able to condense a problem that would take you 10, 15, 20, 30 years to resolve, and they can help you resolve it in less than 5 minutes, or they can help you resolve it in even a year, what amount of money would you pay for that? What would 15 years of your life, not just your living expenses, but your time and the money, the opportunity cost of you not succeeding, what would it be? You can't quantify it. So if you say, man, my mentor's charging me $1,000 a month, try them out. See the value that you gain from them. And then make a little spreadsheet. Because a lot of people have a hard time seeing that a short-term investment pays them in the long term. A lot of people have a hard time seeing that doing the things that you don't want to do, paying the price that you don't want to pay, talking to the people you don't want to talk to, showing up to the events that you don't want to show up to, starting partnerships that you don't want to start, all lead in a positive direction. There's a quote from Chris Williamson, quoting somebody who I don't know who he is quoting. Sounded like a fucking seagull. What is the quote again? I know the second half of the quote.
The seagull fucking distracted you.
And this is it. That's a good one. The magic you are looking for is in the work you are avoiding. Most of the time, the magic that you're looking for and the dream that you're pursuing and the beautiful person that you want to be with or the amazing person you want to be is one step away. And that step is called work. It's called work. It's called work and more work. It's doing everything and anything that you need to do. And we've spoken about this in the past. Most of the time, the things that you're avoiding are the things that you most need to do. Most of the time, the person you're avoiding is the person you most need to talk to. The reason you have anxiety is because there's actions that you need to take and questions that you need to have and conversations that you need to go through with. There's a lot of things on your board. You don't have a list of things that you don't need to do. You have a list of things that need to get done that you're not doing. If you're bored, you probably have things to do. You say, I'm bored. I got nothing to do. Okay, what does your bank account look like? Cool. Are you married? I don't know. Do you have kids? Do you want kids? I don't know. Could you make more money? Sure. Could you smell better? Yeah. Could you be in better shape? Cool. Could your toilet be cleaner? Probably. Did you wipe your ass? I don't know. There's a lot of things that you got to do. Did you cook this week? Read a fucking book. Take a fucking class. Walk down to the street, go to the cafe, and see what multimillionaires are in there. And keep going. Both of them are about to overheat. This one did. That one's about to.
So, to wrap it up a little bit here.
We still got these two.
Okay, well, yeah. In that case.
We can wait for this shit to cool down and then just.
But in that case.
Bro, I feel like these cameras are just not built for long-term recording, which is fine. We still get like 1 3/4.
Now,
Okay, we got all the time in the world.
yeah. So, when we're talking about where to start, like you said, you can be stingy. If you want large amounts of success and money, you're not going to be able to get it by being fucking stingy, bro. Like if someone has information, you know they have the information, and you have to pay them. So having that level of stinginess going into this is not going to serve you well. I can tell you that right fucking now, right? And to expound more on where to start, in my opinion, locally as well. You should be someone in your local area, in your apartment complex, in your fucking gym, in your fucking city that people know does X, Y, and Z. Because if you want to take over the world, you can't take over the world without first getting the support and backing of where you currently stay. So serve your community well. Don't be a fucking asshole. A lot of y'all are assholes or just don't get along very well with people, right? If you want the support from people, because if you have a business, sorry to break it to you, you're going to have fucking some type of support. Somebody out there is going to have to be willing to pay whatever the fuck for your service that is backed by you in your face. So if you want that support from people, be supportive. Help the community. Help the people around you. Don't be an asshole. Be altruistic. You know, when it comes to building a better world around you, you first have to build up yourself. And if you have built a person that people can confide in and people know is a trustworthy person and they treat people with respect, the world is your oyster. And I'll tell you firsthand that we've had more opportunities open up to us just because we were being nice and courteous. Randomly. The amount of free shit that we get, the amount of opportunities that we get, the amount of people that are coming up to speak to us because we're courteous, open the doors up for people, say thank you, please, yes ma'am, no ma'am, all that shit that people just forgot about. Because we're able to do that, we have been able to get a little bit of a head start in certain areas, right? So when you're thinking about where to start with the community around you, and you do that best by being of service to that community. And when you're of service to a community, you more often than not have to be of service with a fucking smile and, you know, a helping hand. People are not going to want your support and want to support you in your community if you're not a person that people view as, you know, a good person, you know? So, of course, there's ways to do it that are mean and ruthless and all that type of shit, but trust me, you get more shit out of it. And not saying you should do it to get more shit out of it, but the fruits you're able to bear more fruits because you have sown the seed of kindness throughout your community. And if you sow the seed of kindness throughout your community, you get what you planted back tenfold.
It's common etiquette. Be polite. Look people in the eye. Firm handshake. Be respectful. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. Open the door for people. Buy people the coffee. Ask them for their time. Like Austin said, I'm just repeating everything. Just making sure everybody's got it. Stroke their ego a little bit. Because you need to understand that they're what's going to help you. So why not cater to them a little bit? And then also be open and willing to help them in any way, shape, or form. If you see something that you could potentially do for them, ask them or just do it. Hey, I realized that your social media was a little lacking, but I realized you had long-form content, so I made some short-form content. Here it is. I'm even willing to post it for you on a separate account, or if you give me certain levels of access, I can do it for you. I have a plan that can help increase your social media traction, or I see that your marketing is lacking here. Could I potentially help rebuild your website? Here's a template of my work. I made it exactly as yours, and I could plug it and play it using the API that you're currently using. I would love to help you succeed. And in the process, they get an understanding of who you are and how you can help them. And they also realize you're not full of shit and you're not full of air. You're substance, you're heart, and they know it. And you can help them. Because at the end of the day, if we can't help anybody, there's no progress to be made. But first, you need to help yourself. And when you help yourself, you can help them.
And you can help them by getting up off your ass. Get up off your ass. Of course, we love that you guys are watching us. But the thing that we want most for you all is to watch this episode. Of course, leave a like and subscribe, comment, all that type of shit. But watch this episode and it have an effect in you to where it makes you get up off your ass and do the things that you want to fucking do. So if you're asking us where to start, it starts by getting up off of your fucking lazy fucking ass and doing something about the things that you want to do. We did it, which is why that we're able to tell you and talk to you about this shit. And I'm telling you, life is hard, but I will tell you life is also much better on this side, knowing that you have no regrets because you got up off your ass and started to get to work on all the things that you said that you wanted to do. So once you watch this video, close your phone. Maybe open your laptop. Maybe even go to a library. Who the fuck knows? Do the things that you know that you have to do. And that way, you'll not only start, you're one step closer to finishing.
The AM Club Podcast.
Signing out.
Mic check.
The AM Club Podcast.